This video is made possible by our loyal Patreon supporters. Visit patreon.com/Psychetruth.
Are you looking to deepen your understanding of physical fitness? Then this challenge is for you. You'll feel not only stronger in your body, you'll feel clearer and calmer in your mind. You can join me on Amazon Prime Video. Hey there, it's Julia Marie. I am really excited to have you here with me today. Today we're going to go through some of my favorite poses for core strength and stability. In my upcoming challenge where we're really powering up our practice, some of these poses become super duper important so that we can find the foundational core stability and a powered up variation so that we deepen our strength and can kind of move into some of the bigger postures or the more advanced postures that maybe we want to find comfort on and familiarity with on our mat practice. So, as we go through these poses today, you're not only going to learn a little bit about each of these poses, I'm also going to introduce a powered up variation for you. And do them along with me. By the end of this video, you will have gotten a great core strength and stability program just for you. You can revisit it often and incorporate any of these poses into your mat practice. So let's get started. We're going to come to hands and knees. So a tabletop position. This is something that we come into a lot in yoga and a lot in my videos. But tuck your toes, draw the low belly in, press into your hands, and then rather than doming into a cat back, I want you to feel your shoulders get nice and solid, open up the chest, and then just hover your knees. Very often what we want to do is we want to push back because that takes some of the weight out of it, but keep your shoulders over your wrists. Allow your knees to just be an inch or two off the earth and maintain a flat spine. Imagine that your tailbone and your crown are reaching in two directions and your midsection is corseting your waist, providing some spine support. Take one more breath here and then release your knees down. So that can be a great posture in and of itself, simply to turn on those deep core stabilizing muscles. And also, it helps us build a really strong foundation for other postures like plank. So let's take that up a notch from this tabletop position. We'll power up this pose, this practice by sending the left leg back. Notice if your hip just started to shift. Draw it back down in line with your right hip. Activate the leg. Reach the right arm forward. Often we call this bird dog. And then we can create a compound movement here by drawing elbow to knee. Reach far out, and then on your exhale, draw elbow to knee and then push your knee and your elbow together so there's a little bit of traction. Again, notice if you're moving backwards. Keep your shoulder over your wrist. Inhale, reach it out, and then that cross body action. Exhale, elbow to knee, curl your belly button into your spine. Inhale, reach it out, strong and long, slow and steady. Exhale, draw it in. One more time. Inhale, reach it out. Exhale, hug it in. So this time as you hug it in, pause. See if you can draw your thigh up just a little bit higher for 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Great, let's do that on the other side. So we'll start in the static bird dog hold. Send your right leg back. Keep your hips nice and level. Draw the low belly in so your pelvis isn't tilting in either direction. It's staying in the same place. Reach your left arm forward. Notice if you are tipping backwards, pull your chest back over your thumb. Let's take 4 repetitions together. On your inhale, reach through your hand and your foot. On your exhale, draw your elbow to your knee. Pause here for a moment and really press your elbow and knee together until you feel the pit of your belly draw in. Inhale, send your leg and arm back out. Exhale, wrap it in and knit your front ribs together. Inhale, reach it out. Exhale, elbow to knee. One more time. Inhale, reach it out. On your exhale, draw elbow to knee and then lift your thigh just a little bit higher. 4, 3, 2, release. Let your shoulders reset, lengthen the back of your neck, then inhale to a cow pose. Exhale to cat, and let that go. So that's a great little variation you can do from your tabletop to your bear pose, to then your bird dog, to the crossbody action. That little vignette of poses together, all from that base of tabletop or bear with the hovering knees, gives you a lot of deep spine stability and support, and it's a fantastic place to start. So let's kick it up a notch. We're gonna come into plank, but rather than high plank, which we visit a lot, let's start in forearm plank. So from the tabletop position that we were just in, come down to your forearms. So your elbows are within the frame of your shoulders, and then step your feet back so you're on the ball mounds of your feet, extending your legs. Notice if your hips want to come way up, drop your booty back in line with your armpits, draw the pit of your belly in just like you did in that bear pose, and then open your chest so you feel nice and solid in the front of your chest and in your upper back. Push into your arms. Now, if it helps you to create a fist, that can just give you a little more strength in your arms. If you want to take that away, you can bring your arms parallel. For a lot of us, this is a little more challenging. Good. So plank pose here on our forearms tends to kick on our core a little bit faster than the high plank, which often we feel in our shoulders a little faster. Take one more breath here. On your exhale, release your knees. Now come up to your high plank. Your hands will come under your shoulders. Step your feet back. We're in our high plank position. Draw the pit of your belly in. Shift your weight into your right hand and roll your heels down towards the mat. Reach your left arm up for a powered up variation of side plank. Your hand can reach straight up. It can dock on your hip, or for a little more oomph, take it over your ear. This creates a longer lever on your spine, so your core has to work a little bit harder to stabilize. Take one more breath on this side. Slow and steady on your exhale, plant your left hand, switch to the other side. Look for your shoulder to stay over elbow and wrist, just so you can really press into the ground, and then lift that bottom hip up. Top arm can go to the ceiling, or you can dock it on your hip. Allow your legs to stay strong, and rather than back bending here, draw your hip tips up towards your ribs so the low back gets nice and long. Top arm can come over your ear for a little more challenge. Power up this side plank. Good, take one more breath in. Exhale, release it down. Drop your knees. Good, come to sit back on your heels and roll your shoulders back a couple times. Once your shoulders feel a little looser and happier after that long hold, we'll come into our next posture. It's gonna be a standing posture, so come on up. You can have a block handy if you'd like. Step your left foot back, connect your heel down, and you're gonna open up into a warrior two, and then straighten your front leg. We'll come into triangle pose. Rather than making this all about the range of motion in your hip, soften the front knee a little bit, and it's okay if your feet are not super duper long on the mat, because we want to emphasize the core strength here. Slide your front hand down to your shin. Rather than reaching for the floor, I want you to stop it on your shin. If, however, that's just way too much on your spine, you're welcome to take a block underneath your hand so you have a little more support. Once your hand is on your shin, take the bottom arm to meet it, and then peel yourself up towards the ceiling, reach up. Good. Slide your bottom hand down about an inch, feel your waist lengthen, and then just notice that your core has to kick on to hold your spine nice and long. Steer your tailbone towards your back heel and your crown towards the front of the room. Now lift your torso up from the side body up 1 inch. Notice that when you do that, you feel the side of your waist really hug and cinch in, providing some spinal stability and support, because that's really what our core is all about. helping us feel stable in a static posture, as well as helping us find stability when we're moving from posture to posture. When we feel nice and strong in our midsection, some of these more challenging postures start to come alive for us. Good. Take your top hand to your hip, use the side of your waist, come on up, and then just switch your feet. We'll take that on the other side. As you move your hip crease back, slide the bottom hand down to your shin. And for today, rather than reaching for the ground, purposefully stop on your shin. Let your knee be soft so you can engage the muscle rather than locking out the knee, and reach your top arm up. So you're moving your arms in two directions. Now spin your heart towards your top wrist. Lift your torso an inch and feel the side of your waist kick on. Continue to think about lengthening your spine in two directions, even as you reach up through your top side body. Maybe you just get 1 inch closer to the ceiling, but with the bottom arm, continue to reach down. You're moving your arms in two directions. Good. Stay with this and allow the belly to draw in and hold you. Take one more breath in. On your exhale, top hand's gonna come to your hip. Come on up. So if you wanna level up triangle and start to play with some of the finer parts of your core strength, which helps us with balance, we can take the elements of triangle and add balance challenge in half moon. So switch your feet once again. Find that triangle and then soften the knee. Bring your right hand down to the ground or to a block if the ground feels far. For a little extra challenge, you can always play with floating the hand. With this long leg, make it nice and stiff and pull the muscle to the bone. Side body's working to allow the spine to stay nice and long rather than arcing. We're not looking for a side bend in our spine. We're looking for our spine to stay nice and long. Notice here that your core is working with stability and balance, so is your legs, your glute, and your hamstring. Stay with it for one more breath. Maybe you're in that challenge of floating the bottom hand. And then exhale, touch it down, step back, come on up, and we'll switch sides. So just shift your feet, come through that triangle, bring your hand down towards the ground, and then you'll lift up. Your top hand can dock on your hip. Your hand can come onto a block, or you can start to take flight and spread your arms in two directions here, floating your bottom hand off the earth. Continue to lengthen your lifted leg back, your crown forward, open up the chest. So there's a lot going on in your legs here too, but they're important for your stability and strength as well. Draw the pit of the belly in so you continue to steer your tail toward your lifted heel. Take one more breath in, soften your knee, touch down. Inhale, come on up to standing. With both feet on the ground, let something go. Maybe your shoulders soften a little bit, or you just let go of the fear of balancing on one foot. What's interesting when we're thinking about our core in this way, there's not one crunch in this entire sequence that I put together for you, but you still are challenging your deep stabilizing system, which is what we need if we're going to advance our yoga practice. So let's come on down to the mat. Grab a block or a pillow. If you don't have either of those, you don't need them, but it can be helpful as we come into boat pose. Squeeze a block between your thighs, rock back onto your hands, and then elevate your heels. From here, hug your thighs together so that your block does not fall, and then reach your fingertips towards your toes. Lengthen your spine as you draw your thighs a little closer to your chest here in boat pose. And then notice if you're rounding your upper back, can you keep your chest nice and open instead? This can be such a challenging core pose. So maybe you're like, I do not want to power it up at all. That's fine, you don't have to. Take one more breath in. On your exhale, release your heels. Grab that block, bring it to your hands, and we're going to do a variation if you're game for it, if you want to power up, keep your heels on the ground, lean your chest back just a little bit, and then open up your heart so it feels like your collarbones got wider. On your breath in, lift just about an inch. On your breath out, cross elbow to knee. Good. Press into the block, come back to the center, twist to the other side. So you can do these twists slow and steady and get just as much as if you were going really fast. Notice if your knees are traveling really wide, keep them inside the frame of your hips. And as you do this, if you want to pick up a knee and touch it down, pick up a knee and touch it down, that can also bring an element of challenge there. Rather than worrying so much about how big the burn is, can you focus on how stable you keep yourself? For 4, 3, press into the block for 2, last one. Great work. Come up to sit and place your block or pillow to the side. We're gonna roll on down to our backs. So coming on down to the back, we're gonna set ourselves up for bridge pose. So often when we think about core strength and stability, we think about crunches, and we also are really dominant on the front side of our body. And that's where our eyeballs are, right? That's where we're moving forward. So it's just natural that we're gonna kind of overemphasize the front of our body and underemphasize the back of our body because we never see it. But when it comes to spinal stability and support and deep core strength, the ability to feel strong, agile, coordinated in postures, you gotta pay attention to your back body as well. Reach your fingertips down towards your heels. Step your feet hips width distance. And then on your inhale, press down through both feet evenly and come on up to bridge about 3/4 of the way. Rather than taking this into an extreme back bend, I want you to engage your glutes and engage your inner thighs. From there, draw the low belly down to create a little airbag to support the spine. This gives you this feeling of, yes, lifting into a back bend, but also stopping the bend a little bit with the abdominal wall. So you're coordinating the back body and the front body, as well as the side body, to hug you in and support. Keep your gaze towards the ceiling. There's no need to turn your neck here. You can stay right here, just feeling the hamstrings and the glutes work, noticing this coordination of your legs, your hips, and your belly, as well as your glutes, supporting you in sort of this 360 experience around the circumference of your hips. Or you can power it up, take it up a notch, heel toe your left foot center, draw your right knee into your chest, and then reach your foot up to the ceiling. Now that you have taken something that was being held by both feet and putting that entire load into one leg, you have increased the challenge for that leg. Notice that you also have increased your challenge for your torso because you're asymmetrical now. The urgency, the tendency is that you want to dip with gravity, instead resist it and lift up away from that. Allow your hips to stay level even though only one foot is on the ground. Take one more breath in, and then plant your right foot and switch sides. Draw your left knee into your chest and kick your heel to the ceiling. Now you'll notice that you want to dip on the opposite side. Continue to keep your hips level. That's the strength and stability that you need. As much as you press down through your grounded foot, also reach up through your lifted leg. You should feel your leg and your butt working, but you should also notice that this deep stabilizing muscle for your spine is also working. Take one more breath in. On your exhale, plant your foot, roll on down. Soles of your feet can come together. Let your knees open wide and take a few deep breaths. One more. Great. Use your hands to close your knees and rock yourself up to sit. Great work. Powering up our practice often means doing what we just did, taking a concept like core strength and stability, but doing it in a different way. So rather than doing a zillion crunches, can you explore different postures that create a different challenge for your body? From there, you learn how to adapt and respond to that challenge, and you get stronger along the way. So if you enjoyed these concepts that we explored, if you enjoyed this practice and you want to practice more with me, let's level up our practice together. I have a 30-day challenge coming out where we power up everything we do on the mat. We power up our practice, we power up our mindset, and we leave that challenge feeling super duper strong. Thank you so much for joining me with these core exercises, and I can't wait to see you in future videos. Until then, namaste. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you never miss my videos. Follow us on social media for tips, tutorials, giveaways, and daily inspiration. Are you looking to deepen your understanding of physical fitness? Then this challenge is for you. You'll feel not only stronger in your body, you'll feel clearer and calmer in your mind. You can join me on Amazon Prime Video.